Welcome to Whispering Shadows, where the line between reality and terror blurs. Tonight, step into the eerie world of the Midnight Carnival. A mysterious carnival rolls into a quiet town, bringing whispers of illusions, dark magic, and a ringmaster with sinister secrets. As curiosity draws you closer, beware. The Midnight Carnival is no ordinary show. Souls vanish, reality bends, and the clock ticks toward a chilling truth. If you dare, join us to uncover the secrets of Rowan's Glen and the horrors that lurk within the swirling lights. Subscribe and ring the bell before it's too late. The Midnight Carnival. Chapter 1. The Rumbling of Drums. "It's here!" someone shrieked on Main Street at sunset, and the whole town seemed to shiver in response. I'd never heard of a carnival rolling into Rowan's Glen. Our peaceful town was far from any major highways, half asleep even on market days. Yet that evening, we watched from our porches as an entire caravan of wagons rumbled through the dusty roads. Horses snorted in the fading light, and the wagons bore bright, peeling signs. Midnight Carnival. Wonders beyond belief. No music blared, no cheerful barker announced their arrival, just the rhythmic pounding of drums that set every heartbeat on edge. I was 17, bored of small-town life, so the carnival's arrival stirred my curiosity. My mom, on the other hand, eyed the passing wagons with worry. "Don't get involved," she warned me. "Something about this feels wrong." But I couldn't resist. That night, while the rest of Rowan's Glen huddled behind locked doors, I sneaked out to see the carnival set up on the old fairground. The sky glowed purple, stars faint behind drifting clouds. A half-finished moon lit my path across brittle grass. At the field's edge, towering tents took shape in eerie silence. Carnival workers wore dark, tattered outfits, their eyes glinting whenever they caught me staring. No one chased me away, yet they seemed to know I was watching. I felt an odd chill, as if stepping onto forbidden soil. I should have listened to my mother, but curiosity won, and my heart quickened with excitement. Little did I know how swiftly that thrill would curdle into fear. Chapter 2. Meeting the Ringmaster. Dawn found Rowan's Glen abuzz with uneasy talk. Some called the carnival a godsend for our dull town. Others whispered about curses and illusions. When I walked to the fairground at mid-morning, new banners flapped in the breeze, each proclaiming exotic attractions. The Hall of Endless Mirrors, the Beast Tamer, Fortunes of the Strange. At the entrance, a tall man in a red tailcoat welcomed me with a dramatic bow. His top hat's brim shadowed half his face. "Greetings, friend," he purred, voice velvety. "I'm Casimir, the ringmaster of this wondrous show. Dare you step inside?" He flicked a business card at me. It read, "Midnight Carnival. Open at dusk till dawn. Admission by curiosity alone." I stammered. You're open tonight?" Casimir's thin smile revealed teeth too white. "Indeed. The show begins at midnight sharp, continuing until first light. Bring your thirst for thrills." His eyes glinted unnaturally. "I sense you have quite the appetite for wonder." He stepped away, disappearing between tents. My stomach fluttered. Appetite for wonder? Something about Casimir's presence unsettled me, yet a spark of fascination burned within. Back in town, rumors spread fast. People said the carnival had arrived without permission or city permits. The mayor had vanished from his office that morning. Some insisted he'd gone to negotiate with the ringmaster, but no one saw him return. At midday, a local radio station crackled warnings about traveling carnivals scamming innocent folks. But it felt deeper than a scam, like a dark enchantment had fallen over Rowan's Glen. That evening, I overheard my mother telling neighbors we should boycott the carnival. Fearful talk circled. Illusions that trap souls, a ringmaster who steals hearts. I shrugged it off as folklore. but still, my chest knotted with worry. At 11:30, I crept out again, ignoring my mother's pleas. I had to see for myself. The moonless sky seemed to swallow all light, yet at the fairground, a swirl of bright torches beckoned me inside. Chapter 3. The Midnight Show. Crowds gathered at the carnival gates. I recognized familiar faces from school, local shopkeepers, even people rumored to be skeptics. Yet they too were drawn in. A faint haze drifted overhead, tinted green by the swirling torches. The air smelled of cotton candy and some pungent spice. Casimir stood atop a small stage, arms raised in dramatic flair. "Welcome, dear guests. This is no ordinary carnival. Here your deepest desires and darkest fears come alive. Tonight, the veil between dreams and nightmares grows thin. Are you brave enough?" A hush fell, as though everyone had forgotten to breathe. Then the gates swung open, revealing a corridor of striped tents. A sign overhead read, "Dare you seek the unbelievable?" I stepped inside with the surge of the curious crowd. The tent corridor branched out. Mirror mazes, rides that spun under flickering lights, booths manned by silent attendants. Every corner felt simultaneously thrilling and deeply wrong. I wandered to a small stage labeled Fortune Teller. A veiled figure sat behind a crystal sphere. She beckoned me closer, her voice a whisper. "You've come to see your fate, child?" Her slender hands glided over the sphere, swirling thick mist inside. My reflection fractured into swirling patterns. "I see. You," she said, "trapped in illusions, bound to unravel a curse, unless you break the carnival's hold." I jerked back. "What curse?" But her eyes rolled back, and she fell silent. A ring of onlookers behind me gasped, but no one stepped in. Panicking, I backed away, nearly colliding with the tall clown whose painted grin looked far from friendly. Lightning suddenly flashed overhead. A thunderless storm? My heart pounded. Something behind the carnival's bright facade reeked of dark magic. Chapter 4. Twisted Attractions. As the clock struck midnight, the carnival truly awakened. The rides whirled, music piped from hidden speakers, and costumed performers roamed with eerie grace. The show was mesmerizing, too mesmerizing. People lost track of time, drifting from tent to tent as if in a trance. I found myself drawn to the Hall of Endless Mirrors, a large dome tent flickering with strobe lights. The entry sign read, "Confront your reflection. Are you who you think you are?" Inside, tall mirrors lined a spiral corridor. Each mirror reflected me differently, older, younger, grotesquely distorted. Then I froze at one reflection that showed me with hollow eyes, mouth parted in a silent scream. I glanced away, heart racing. A flicker at the corner of my vision. My reflection moved, though I had stood still. A chill shot up my spine. Something behind the mirror? Or was it the carnival's illusions messing with my mind? Suddenly, Casimir's voice whispered in my ear. "Seeing yourself truly can be unsettling, no?" I spun around. He wasn't physically there, yet his voice echoed through the corridor. "Every soul hides secrets, child. Perhaps you'll unearth yours tonight." An unseen door slammed behind me, panic gripping me. I tore through the corridor, mirrors warping my face into 1,000 horrified expressions. At last, I stumbled out into the open, gulping fresh air. This carnival toyed with my sanity, but my curiosity wouldn't let me leave, not yet. Chapter 5. Vanishing Locals. My phone read 2 a.m. as I wandered the carnival lanes. The crowd had thinned. Some performers cackled softly, enticing passers-by into shadowy attractions. I noticed a hush fell over the southwestern corner, near a tent labeled The Beast Tamer. Drawn by tension, I peered inside. A small arena with metal bars around a central ring. Rows of seats half filled with onlookers. A pale woman in a ringmaster-like uniform stood in the center, cracking a whip. She bragged about subduing the savage beasts. Then, with a flourish, she flung open a cage door. No animals emerged. Instead, the space warped, like reality bending. I glimpsed a monstrous silhouette, half lion, half serpent, lunging forward. A shriek erupted from a front-row onlooker. The next second, the silhouette vanished, leaving only echoes of a roar. The onlooker sat stock still, eyes glazed. The beast tamer bowed. Applause rippled, though many clapped in a daze. My skin crawled. This show was no simple illusion. Something intangible and hungry lurked behind each act, feeding on fear. Leaving the tent, I found a group of townspeople searching frantically. "Where's my son? He was right here!" a frantic father cried. Whispers of missing children circulated. Another woman sobbed about her friend disappearing after stepping behind a staff-only curtain. Vanishing locals. My mother's warnings echoed in my head, illusions that might trap souls. I had to do something. But what? I was just a teen with no special powers. The ringmaster and his crew had unstoppable sorcery at their disposal. Still, I felt a strange determination building. Maybe the fortune-teller's riddle about unraveling a curse was real. Chapter 6. Secrets of the Carnival's Core. Desperate for answers, I slipped behind the tents, navigating a maze of trailers and supply wagons. Dim lanterns illuminated piles of strange crates labeled with cryptic runes. My pulse thumped. Finally, I reached a large, ornate wagon at the carnival's center, Casimir's personal carriage, presumably. The door stood half open. Swallowing my fear, I crept inside. It was dimly furnished, velvet drapes, a wooden desk cluttered with old texts. A brass lockbox on a shelf caught my eye. Summoning courage, I opened it, maps of various towns, each with big X marks. Rowan's Glen had a fresh date scrawled, tonight. Another folder contained news clippings. Residents disappear after traveling carnival visit. So it was true. This carnival roamed from place to place, luring victims to vanish. The ringmaster orchestrated it, apparently unstoppable. They'd feed on new souls, then vanish before dawn. Tomorrow morning, Rowan's Glen would awaken minus a few neighbors, with no proof of a crime. One final item in the lockbox, a black stone shaped like a tear. It pulsed faintly in my hand, warm and beating like a heart. A sizzle of power coursed up my arm. Overwhelmed, I dropped it, stifling a gasp. "That belongs to me," a voice hissed behind me. Casimir himself. Fear hammered my chest. He glided into the wagon, shutting the door. "You're a curious one, child, rummaging through the ringmaster's secrets." His grin glinted in the lantern's glow. "Now you know we can't let you go free." I stammered. Why do this? Steal people from each town?" He laughed softly. "This is the Midnight Carnival, fueled by mortal souls. Our realm can only exist if we feed on human fears, hopes, their very essence. The black stone is our anchor to your world. Without it we vanish, returning to the night's void." A swirl of dark mist gathered around him. My mind screamed escape, but I was cornered. Casimir's eyes glowed with unnatural energy. "Hand me that stone," he commanded, voice booming with hidden power. Chapter 7. The Stone's Power. Dread surged, but I recalled the vanishings, the children at risk, the fear overshadowing Rowan's Glen. If the black stone was their anchor, maybe destroying it could collapse the carnival's illusions. Summoning courage, I snatched the stone off the floor, ignoring the sizzling pain. Casimir lunged, but I ducked aside, flinging the wagon door open. I fled into the carnival's heart, stone in hand. Thunder rolled overhead, the carnival's illusions trembling as I clutched its core of power. The staff and costumed performers swarmed me, shapes flickering between human and monstrous forms. My fellow townspeople stared in confusion, half lost in the carnival's spell. I sprinted past the Beast Tamer's ring, the Hall of Mirrors, until I reached the main stage. Lightning crackled across the sky. Casimir teleported onto the stage, cloak swirling, a crowd of enthralled watchers at his feet. "Return the stone!" he roared, voice echoing with thunder, "or your entire town remains forever in our thrall!" He launched a wave of dark energy. I stumbled, feeling an icy grip around my lungs, my vision blurred with swirling shadows. But somewhere behind me, a child's cry snapped me back. The missing kids needed me. I forced my legs to move. Determined, I raised the black stone overhead. Casimir shrieked, eyes wide, "No, don't!" Summoning every ounce of resolve, I slammed the stone onto the stage floor with all my might. A flash of brilliant light exploded, followed by a deafening boom. The carnival's tents flickered like static, illusions unraveling around us. Voices cried out in confusion. The stage cracked beneath me as swirling energy whipped away. Casimir's form flickered, contorting in anguish. He let out a final howl. "You have doomed us!" Before dissolving into swirling mist. One by one, the carnival performers and monstrous shadows blinked out, leaving only vacant tents collapsing into nothing. The watchers' trance broke. Freed children stumbled out from behind illusions. The Midnight Carnival was undone. Chapter 8. Dawn's Liberation. At first light, Rowan's Glen awakened to an empty field. The carnival had vanished, leaving just tattered ground and a faint sulfuric scent. Townspeople wandered the site in a daze, recollecting half-formed dreams of rides and bizarre shows. I stood in the center, panting, the shattered remains of the black stone at my feet. A wave of relief coursed through me as missing locals reunited with families. Slowly, tears of joy replaced fear. My mother found me, hugging me fiercely, demanding to know what happened. The best I could explain was the carnival was an otherworldly phenomenon that fed on souls. But I'd broken its anchor, freeing us from its hold. The details might never be fully believed, but the townspeople would move on with their lives. As the sun rose, the swirling clouds dissipated, leaving a calm, bright sky over Rowan's Glen. The entire ordeal felt like a feverish nightmare. Yet proof remained in the blank field, the footprints, the few scraps of carnival fabric fluttering in the morning breeze. Rumors spread that the carnival might reform somewhere else, searching for a new anchor, a new place to enthrall. But for now, our town was safe. I carried a faint scar on my palm from the stone's heat, a reminder that I had glimpsed the Midnight Carnival's dark wonders. In the months to come, I sometimes woke at odd hours, wondering if distant drums might herald the carnival's return. Yet the night remained quiet. No ringmaster's voice carried on the wind. We'd survived a brush with an otherworldly curse, and thanks to a moment of courage, the carnival was banished from Rowan's Glen. And so our sleepy town returned to normal. But whenever I see storm clouds swirling at midnight, I remember the carnival's swirling lights and half-lion monstrosities, and pray I never again hear the ringmaster's voice whisper, "Welcome, dear child, to the Midnight Carnival." The end.